My husband's mistress doesn't know that my son will inherit all of my mother-in-law's wealth, and their affair baby will inherit nothing. Finding out that my husband cheated on me with his skinny blonde personal trainer while I weighed nearly 200 pounds from being pregnant with our child almost killed both me and the baby. My husband had left his phone unlocked on the table one day, and that's when I saw the text come in. One text with a contact that was just the heart emoji, that said, "I feel so empty without you inside me, frown. I didn't make you fast enough to the bathroom to throw up and vomit all over myself and just lay on the floor and cried. Although it was extremely difficult, I separated from my husband, gave birth all by myself, raised my child all on my own. Meanwhile, while I was living in a one-bedroom apartment and juggling 3 jobs at once, my ex-husband married his affair partner and got her pregnant before our divorce was final. Even though the woman is a professional personal trainer, she has acted like anything but a professional towards me. The only time she ever saw me in person, she put her hand on my belly and asked if I was trying for another one. It was 100% obvious that I wasn't pregnant, but her harassment didn't stop there. During my husband and I's divorce, she kept making anonymous Instagram accounts to comment nasty things on my posts like whale and suggestions for various plastic surgeries that I needed. This led to me deleting 100% of my social media because I was sick of her having any access to me. The only positive aspect that came out of my divorce other than leaving a cheater was my ex-mother-in-law's overwhelming kindness. I had always been close to her and she was the first person I called when I found out about the cheating. I'll never forget how she supported me and cried with me on the phone and called her own son a B-starred beach for what he had done. We have stayed in contact through divorce. My son loves his grandma and she has done so much to support me over the years, including buying me baby formula when I was struggling. She's an incredibly kind woman, and unfortunately this year she developed a very serious fast-acting cancer, and I have been visiting her every chance I get, far more than her own son. She took care of me when I was alone, and now I want to return the favor. About a month ago when I was visiting her, she waited until her caretaker had left the room and pulled me in to tell me a secret. She let me know that she had been updating her will, and she was so resentful of the type of man her son had grown up to be that she had chosen to leave 100% of her assets to my son instead. So not only will my ex-husband and his new wife get no inheritance, but neither will their child. I started to tear up and begged her to reconsider, asking her why she felt like my family deserved this instead of her own. She reminded me that I am her family and confided in me that her own father had left her family to go live with his second family when she was only 5 years old, and she had hated him for it. Now that her own son had grown up to be a cheating piece of poop just like his grandfather, she wanted nothing to do with him and his pathetic new excuse for a family. It was a very emotional night, and I made sure to express my gratitude over and over again. I was one of the first people that my ex-mother-in-law had told about her illness, and once more family members began to find out, it eventually got back to my ex and his new wife. After they found out my ex-mother-in-law was dying, they were suddenly showing up every weekend when I was visiting as well. Their behavior freaked me out. They were acting super friendly out of nowhere towards me and my ex-mother-in-law when they are usually self-absorbed people who barely visited her. During one of these visits, I was walking back slowly from the kitchen with a bowl of soup for my ex-mother-in-law when I heard my ex-husband and his current wife whispering and giggling around the corner. I was probably wrong for eavesdropping, but it led to me discovering the ugly truth about what they were planning. They were talking about how excited they were that they could finally afford to join some expensive, exclusive country club they had been dreaming about. I heard my ex-husband explicitly say, "Once we get this money, we're golden. It shouldn't be much longer now." He was literally talking about his mom dying, and his wife responded by giggling, and he returned her laughter. I thought I couldn't be more disgusted until I heard his wife turn around and start criticizing the way my mother-in-law's living room was decorated. From the corner I was peeking out of, I saw her take down a photo that my ex-mother-in-law had put up of my son, turn back to her husband, and say, "There, doesn't that look so much better? We'll have to replace it with photos of their son's name." I couldn't believe that my ex-husband was just standing there as his wife was insulting his own child. But then again, he's great at being divorceable. I'm going to miss my mother-in-law with all my heart when she passes, but I have to admit that seeing the realization on my husband and his wife's face when they learn they won't be getting a penny from my ex-mother-in-law will be priceless.